Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. In this video I've come down to the Wood of Cree, which is a beautiful woodland that I've been meaning to visit for the last 2 or 3 years. I've never been before, but by all accounts it's absolutely beautiful. Now, it's actually a great bluebell location, and bluebell season isn't for another 4 or 5 weeks, but I thought I'd come down and check it out, have a look around, scope the place out and just generally get a feel for it, so that when the time comes I can make the most of it. Oh, well, this is nice, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's got a bit of potential. There's a couple of logs lying around here and there which I might need to try and remove in some way in post-processing, but yeah, I quite like that. Right, what about this for the first shot? I've made the most of these boulders as foreground interest. You've got the lovely cascade coming down in the background, and I'm including this kind of gravel bed here. The gravel bed's causing me some problems in terms of exposure, because as you can probably tell, that is very, very bright compared to everything else in the scene. So that's burning out, as is the little spot where the sun is directly hitting the white water. So I'm having to take a separate exposure for them a bit faster. That's also having the effect of freezing some of the motion in the water as well, so it's got a dual purpose, that. I've taken the shot initially in portrait orientation, but I might do a horizontal one as well. Maybe something like this, actually, what you've seen on our screen, because that allows me to exclude the sky and also include more of these moss-covered boulders here. Right, I've come to the other side of the river, the stream. I'd hoped that I could have got out a little bit further towards the centre and shoot the waterfall from this side. I was shooting over there earlier, but unfortunately it gets very deep, and as you can see we've got quite a lot of trees have come down on this side, and that's blocking the viewpoint. So it looks as though the best view was the one from the other side of the river. That's a shame. Anyway, I'll continue on.
Right, it's probably worth pointing out at this point that this clearly isn't the best time of day to be doing woodland photography. We've got a clear blue sky and we've got harsh midday sun. The contrasts and the shadows are all very, very extreme. This was really just a scouting trip. I just wanted to get the lay of the land, really. But I'd like to invite you to imagine just how this would look first thing in the morning with a light mist and some beautiful bluebells.
You got the river S-bending its way through the woods and culminating down there in that little cascade. Because that's beautiful. I love the green mosses and the dark shadows. Beautiful. Right, I love this. The way we've got the water coming round both sides of that boulder, just catching the light. We've also got some beautiful light here on the near side of the riverbank, and then as you lift your eye up, you've got just a little hint of a larger waterfall beyond, and then this incredible array of trees, all bare and stark against the blue sky. That is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to set up here and take a vertical shot, go quite wide, and really make it about the light hitting the side of the gorge. A little splash of light on the waterfall there, and these incredible trees. That is beautiful. Right, another shot coming up, I think. This is nice, isn't it? It's a slightly better view of the top fall. We still have these beautiful trees going up there. But unfortunately, because we're so close to the waterfall now, we'd have to include quite a bit of sky if I want to include those trees. So I think what I might do is exclude the trees from this shot. So do something like that. And then I'll make my way up towards the top of the fall and see if there's a shot of those trees from up there. Now this is just absolutely gorgeous. Can you imagine this with bluebells? Oh wow. Now this is a beautiful little spot, isn't it? Again, it's a combination of the trees and this little cascade running down that gorge there. It just looks so photogenic. I'll definitely be back here, I'll tell you. This is an absolutely stunning location. I can't believe I've never been before. But that's all going to be rectified from now on. This is going to be a regular, I think. Look at this. Is that not incredible? Again, it's the trees. The gnarly old trees kind of giving some shade to the falls. But then the waterfall is itself quite photogenic as well, isn't it? There's a little ledge below me that I think I might be able to get onto, and that will allow me to get a little bit closer to the waterfall, but also to slightly shoot upwards so I can include more of those trees. This is beautiful. I think the best view of that particular fall and that beautiful gorge with those overhanging trees is round about here, actually looking right up the gorge. As soon as you start to go slightly to the left or the right, you start to lose details in there. So what I've done is I've come back up again. I'm still slightly lower than when I first saw the spot, and that's allowed me to shoot straight up the gorge, make the most of these foreground waterfalls, but also include these incredible trees above and that dappled light, which you can see just falling all the way down across the rocks and on the moss. I'm not using any fancy filters or anything like that at the moment. I'm literally just adjusting the shutter speed. I've kept the aperture at f13 or f14, one or two, and I'm just adjusting the shutter speed to take several shots with varying degrees of motion in the water, but also so that I don't clip any highlights and so that I also capture some of the shadow detail, because I think this is going to be an exposure blend. Just to do it justice, because that is absolutely beautiful to the naked eye, and I just know from past experience that there's no way that the camera sensor is picking up that entire dynamic range. So I'm going to have to bracket the exposure on this. But wow, absolutely gorgeous. Right, what with this? I didn't actually move very far. I just got up off the ledge and walked about another 10 steps further up the hill and realised that we had this shot. Same waterfalls as I was shooting earlier, but just from a slightly different angle. But what I like about this one is this. You have the base of this tree here, and that gives you that kind of woodland setting for the shot, and I think that is absolutely beautiful. Again, you've got that dappled light on the rocks, you've got the waterfall just catching the light in places and other places being quite dark, and then the other side of the river, which is in shadow, is very, very dark, so you've got the waterfall standing out against that shadowy area, and I think that is absolutely beautiful, I really do. It would appear this part of the route isn't finished with me yet. I just came back up and we've got yet another angle on those waterfalls, and this time it's a different tree. We've got one here and one here that's forming the natural frame. I particularly like this angle of the falls because you can see the water coming down that kind of chute there and just actually firing out from the edge of the rock face before it hits the surface again below. So I think that looks quite nice, quite dynamic. There's a lot of motion in that water, but that contrasts well with the stillness of these two trees which are framing it, and obviously the inert rock down there just framing the whole thing. So yeah, I like that. I do like that. So I'm going to take this shot and then move on. I fear I won't be moving particularly far because I've already spotted another shot which is just off to my left, further upstream. But for now, I'll take this one and I'll come back to you in a sec. Right, I suspect this might be a shot for a different time and a different day, because at the moment, in order to get this shot, I would be shooting directly into the sun, which is, I've managed to get hidden just behind that tree just now, but it's not really making any difference to the highlights in the water. They're all burning out. So I think this is a reference shot for next time I visit, which I don't think will be particularly long. Yet another beautiful little waterfall, but a waterfall which is framed by these incredible trees again. I'm clearly quite close to the top of the path or whatever, because just directly above me now is like skyline, but by aiming down I can exclude the sky and make something of that waterfall there. But also just down there's a secondary cascade which has unfortunately got some logs jammed in it, but I can try and get a shot with the two of them. Right, what do you think of this? Same waterfall, slightly different angle, and this is allowing us again to make more of these beautiful trees in the background. It's a simple shot. I've placed the waterfall cascade smack bang in the middle of the frame, and I'm shooting in portrait orientation so that I can maximise the number of trees that I've got in the shot. And as before, bracketing the exposure, not adjusting the aperture or the ISO, just the shutter speed. And yeah, if I need to, I can blend all them in post-processing. another simple but quite lovely shot. Right, here's a conundrum. I'm convinced that there is a shot here, but I've been down onto the water's edge, I've been up onto the path, I've gone further back, I've gone closer in, I've gone downstream, I've got slightly upstream, and I just can't find the angle that makes this look the way it looks in my mind's eye. Perhaps this is one for less direct light, maybe a little bit more subtle. Early morning mist maybe. Oh yeah, can you imagine that? Early morning mist with just a little hint of bluebells in the background. Right, I've got to the top, I think. Can't see an awful lot of higher ground running about, so I think I've got to the top of the walk. But rather than follow the circle all the way down, I'm just going to retrace my steps, go back the way I came, and leave the other half as a surprise for the next visit. Time's marching on and I need to get back. I've got about 2.5 hours drive to get home, so I need to hit the road soon. So I'm going to make my way back down. If I see anything on the way down that might make for a good shot from a different angle, then I'll take it on the way back. But otherwise, it's a march down the hill again to the car park. So while I'm here, I should probably say, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably noticed that there's been quite a lot of waterfall videos recently, and the reason for that is I decided that the theme of my calendar for next year is going to be some of my favourite Scottish waterfalls. So I've just been visiting or revisiting a few old favourites and trying to visit some new ones that I've never been to before. So it'll be available probably around about July, August time. But newsletter subscribers will get a discount code for an early purchase discount. So if you think you might be interested in getting a discounted calendar for next year, then make sure you sign up for the newsletter. There's a link in the description below. So that's us for another video, and the Wood of Cree. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a little thumbs up if you did. I'll definitely be back here, probably in the next 5 or 6 weeks, depending on when the bluebells begin to show. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.